What's going on, guys? DBMgamer here, and today I want to talk about Bungie's weekly update. Now, Bungie's weekly update this week primarily dealt with the raid. That's right, the raid on the Vault of Glass, the last raid of the game. But before I can get into any of that, I've got to get to my shoutouts. My shoutouts is how I show appreciation back to the community that has gotten me this far. And I want to give shoutouts to Josiah Duff, Frankenstein, CZ Robert 08, Neil Adams, Jose Menendez, 39G Caster, Charles Shaffy, Warlock Gibbsy, Michael Gonzalez, and Neo1X. So earlier in the week I had one of my subscribers actually hit me up with a question on this Titan armor that you got to see in the Newsweek that's on newsstands right now. And he was just curious as to how in the world did you get your hands on it. Well, it turned out Bungie today actually connected the dots for us. They answered the question of what kind of loot will I get in the raid? Well, their answer went like this. Each class has an entire set of gear to chase across 2 difficulties. And of course, there are raid weapons. Each of Destiny's 9 weapon archetypes, the auto rifle, the hand cannon, the pulse rifle, the fusion rifle, the heavy machine gun, the rocket launcher, the sniper rifle, the shotgun, and the scout rifle, has a legendary version that has been created specifically for the raid. The armor and weapons are completely unique to the raid activity. They are visually and thematically connected to the combatants you'll fight in the Vault of Glass. And of course, there are rewards behind the vault doors that we won't detail today. Now, because of the fact that they said that all of the weapons would be thematically similar, all that you had to do was find something that all the legendary weapons had in common. And this common thread was actually the Oracle Disruptor, and what that does is very, very obvious. This weapon deals bonus damage to oracles in the Vault of Glass. So it would make pretty much common sense that this would be where you would find these types of weapons. As it turns out, there was a very similar theme with the armor as well. You could find themes of the Vex Breaker, which killing a Vex with a melee attack has a chance to spawn an orb, and the Vex Striker, which killing a Vex with a critical hit has a chance to spawn an orb, were also littered amongst legendary armor. Now, when I got asked the question of where does this armor get, the only thing that I could do at the moment was to share this piece of armor. Now, this is a fully decked out Warlock and Vex type armor. This armor set was known as the Hinzen Lord's armor set. So now that we have a name for the Warlock set, I got very curious as to, well, what about this original one that's in Newsweek? Well, it turns out I have the lore on that one too. Once you connect all the different pieces of the Vex Striker set, you actually get a nice chunk of lore from the game. Now, the Hunter set, which is known as the Zealot set, read like this. Forged from the cores of the Hinzen Vex, if you feel a sense of revelation, remove immediately and inject anti-enthogens. Forged from the ruin of Hinzen Vex armor, the sensory interface feels more natural than bare skin. Forged from the remnants of broken Vex. Some of the component matter is older than the solar system. Skinned in the membranes of the Hinzen Vex. There is very little risk they will become permanently attached to your body. Now, as for the Warlock, as I had said earlier, this is actually the Hinzen Lord set. Now, this reads as this. The Helm's nerve interface incorporates Vex cells. They're dead, of course, but not too dead to dream. And then it goes into quotation marks on another piece of armor. Slept in the armor last night. Woke to feel my heart stuttering to the pattern of an unknown signal. Capable gauntlets. Extremely effective. I have only one piece of advice. Never touch a living Vex. Rumor has it that the exile Osiris came too close to understanding the Vex. Now, I really enjoy this extra little piece on the end, because that just further cements that the Vex at one time are or were on Mercury. Because it's been traced now that the Trial of Osiris is actually a PvP activity on Mercury. But my favorite has to be the story about the Titan's armor. This is known as Kabar's armor set. Once you have all the pieces and you assemble it, you can read something along the lines of this. Kabar fought the Vex alone, but somehow they didn't kill him. In the aftermath, he became obsessed with the machines. He consumed their technology like fire, fashioning armor from their remnants. He was claimed by the vault. His armor and myth are all that remain. So I thought that was very interesting. Once you put all the pieces of armor together, you kind of get bits of story of the lore of Destiny. So I got curious as to, well, what about the actual weapons, since there's going to be a weapon of each archetype in the Vault of Glass. What would you get? None of them very well impressed me, other than really the assault rifle, because the assault rifle continues on with Destiny's ongoing story, and the assault rifle is known as Atheon's Epilogue. Atheon's story is still being written. The wielder holds the pen. Signed by Unknown. And I was like, wow, man, that's awesome that you would pick up something out of the Vault of Glass named the Epilogue, which is the end of a story, only to be told by a description on the gun that you are still writing the end. Well, I gotta say this, guys, after doing all this digging for all this crazy lore and information, I started feeling like I was just seeing Destiny everywhere. Alright guys, well, that's all I got for today. If you like this type of content, feel free to hit that like button or just drop a comment. Or if you just want to see more, hit that subscribe button. But as always, guys, have a good one.